Good day, everyone. All the guys that have joined us for this morning. Welcome to our online webinar. To start off with, thank you, Alta. Welcome. I see I'm starting the webinar a couple of seconds earlier, but welcome to our little explainer video. This isn't a very long session. This is, as you can figure out by the name, this is so that we've got the opportunity to explain a little bit about webinars and what they are. So let's start off. Let me quickly explain to you guys, firstly, who I am. My name is Eugene. I am part of the We Speak team, and I'll take you through a little bit later what we do as We Speak, because we specialize in webinars. But just quickly, the infrastructure, you are the hi Peter. Yes, it's the I'm glad you like my background. You can see I've hidden a couple of gems in there, but yes, let's get back to it. So my name is Eugene, and just quickly on the right hand side of your screens, if you're on a screen, let me just see who's on a screen and a mobile. I see everyone's on a PC. Welcome, Craig. Annalise, welcome. So you guys on the right hand side can leave me some chats. You'll see there's an emoticon button. You guys can leave me some emoticons. Just to give you an example, there's me saying hi to everyone. Currently, I've made the chats private, so it's only myself and the moderator that will see it. So please feel free to make comments and ask questions. But this session is quite interactive, so you guys will see I've got a couple of questions for you as well. So I'm going to start off by going through just starting off my slides here. So the first thing that I quickly want to go is why are you guys here? So we started We Speak a while ago, and I've got, if I talk to people, a lot of people ask me, what is a webinar? How does it compete with Zoom? What exactly are the benefits? So there seems to be some confusion about it, and I thought let me do a series of webinars about webinars and just explain quickly. It'll probably be a 15-minute session. It will explain quickly what it is and how webinars can help you as a speaker to put your word out and put your message out there, and the power of webinars, which we absolutely love. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So this is a webinar. What you guys are currently experiencing is a webinar. I'm not sure from the current audience who's done a webinar or who's managed a webinar, but a short explanation, a webinar is basically a video-based platform that allows interaction with your audience. The interactions that we refer to are generally polls. So you guys will see, I'll go through a question now. And polls are questions that people can answer. You guys will see there's currently a audio and video involved. You guys can see me, and that's through the polls you can answer questions that I have. We also have generally handouts. So a handout might be a PDF or a document that you want to give out. Then you also get actions. You can have people click on websites, and then obviously, as you can see, I'm currently sharing slides, and on the slides, I keep my slides fairly simple, but it means that on this webinar, I can basically share my video as well as the slides that I have. So let me quickly ask you guys a question on the polls here. The first one that I quickly want to ask you guys, who's been in a webinar before? Obviously, there's three questions. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. And nope, I haven't before. So let's see. Okay, everyone seems to have been in a webinar. And yeah, that's great. Thank you for the answers, guys. I really appreciate it. So let's go on. The questions that people usually ask me about what is a webinar and how it works is they usually compare it with other systems. So I'm quickly going to take you through the three main video-based systems that one gets. The first one is streaming platforms. A lot of people are now, with the corona, for those that might be looking at this video and watching this video offline afterwards, it might not be corona or lockdown, but we currently find ourselves in lockdown where 4.5 billion people are currently at home, and so there's obviously been quite an uptake in streaming. So I think the two main streaming services are Facebook streaming and YouTube streaming. And streaming tends to be a one-directional stream towards someone. In other words, it's more from a speaker's point of view, talking to an audience in a one-directional way. Then you've got meeting platforms that's very popular, and within the meeting platforms, you typically have your big ones, Zoom and Skype. Both of them we use as a company, as well as you've got Teams from Microsoft, you've got Hangouts from Google, and those meeting platforms, although they're also video-based, they are more aimed towards getting people around a table, see it in your mind's eye that streaming is sort of a one-directional thing, someone standing on an audience, almost preaching. On a meeting platform, you've got people sitting around a table wanting to meet one another and talk and interact with one another. Then lastly, you've got speaking platforms. Now, within the speaking platforms, it's mostly just webinars. You've got tons of webinar platforms, Easy Talks, GoToWebinars, Webinar Jam, that's probably one of the biggest ones. We use Vimeo, which we absolutely love. I'm sure you guys have found it quite easy to log in and everything. And this from a speaking platform is a fantastic way because it's got partial interaction from the audience. So guys will then also say, yes, but you get Zoom as a webinar platform, and you can obviously interact with your audience with these other platforms. However, although the platform's functionality overlap with one another, they are still made for a very specific purpose, where your streaming services during a Facebook or a YouTube streaming service, you can definitely put up your hand, you can obviously like and love and make all kinds of emoticons float. And within Zoom as well, you obviously have, but typically if you look at a webinar platform can go into thousands of people watching you. And then the feedback from the audience is obviously a little bit more controlled through polls and chats. So I have a quick question here from PowerPoint slides. Definitely you can upload on a lot of platforms, you can upload PowerPoint slides. On our specific platform, we focus on PDF slides because they're faster and because the PDF slides that we share allow the webinar to actually stream the quality of the video a little better, as you can see at the top of my video. So that brings me to a question that I have, and that would be, which platform do you guys prefer? So there we've got poll number 2, and I'd like to know, I mean, do you guys like Zoom and Facebook, or Facebook and YouTube, Zoom? Do you prefer interactive webinars, or do you just prefer all of them? So the poll is open. You guys can just answer. We're starting to get some answers here. I see everyone basically prefers all of the above. Myself as well. I think, although I can't answer on my own poll, I also prefer all of them. And I think because of the last portion of that question, what do they do, is you use them for different applications, and it seems to be the general thinking of it. So the question then is, why a webinar? Why do you want to talk to people? Why do you want to bridge? Why do you want to not use one of the other platforms? And I think from a sales perspective, I'm a salesman and I do sales training. And one of the things that I usually tell people, we specialize also in digital marketing, is that there are different layers of having connection and communication with your audience. So a lot of people focus on digital marketing, which is one of my strengths. And digital marketing, let's say Facebook marketing, AdWords, all those platforms, they basically give you a digital contact with a client. And the intention is obviously to close a sale. So at some stage, there's usually the requirement to have a closer relationship or a closer interaction with a client. If a client simply buys a product like at macro, it's not that necessary, but for most businesses and entrepreneurs, you at some stage want to meet your client. So I usually explain it in the form that you have your sales or your first introduction, which is sort of your social media third-party level, mainly Facebook, LinkedIn, building networks on LinkedIn, running Google AdWords. And then people sort of expect a client to get to know you from these very impersonal social media platforms and sort of jump into, let's go for a coffee at Mug and Bean. So I love a coffee at Mug and Bean. I love to take my customers out and meet with them, because I'm fairly certain once I've got the ability to talk to them, I will most probably close the sale. So from your top layer where you've got this impersonal social media interaction to going for a coffee, there's quite a gap to build confidence. And that is for us where webinars plays a massive role, because in such a situation, you guys can see me, you can see my mannerisms, you can see how I talk, what I do, and it definitely, I think, builds a different persona of who you're going to meet. The benefit also is that you can address quite a wide audience with doing webinars. So you can obviously talk to people, inspire them, reach out to them, motivate them, and then you can do hard selling, you can do product selling, but I generally don't favor product selling in webinars, because webinars are supposed to inform and empower. Like Rich Mulholland, who's a really great speaker, like I always says, that it can really inspire people to make them feel like heroes. It also builds far more confidence in order to get to that coffee at Mug and Bean, which is usually what I'm aiming for. So quickly, a next question that I have with you guys is something that I'm quite interested in, is that the question is on the next poll, if you meet a client face to face, let's say you go for that coffee at Mug and Bean or your favorite coffee spot, what are the chances of you closing a deal? If you meet them, do you think you've got 80% chance of closing the deal? Or do you think, based on the meetings you've had, yeah, maybe, or do you think, no, not even a 20%, there's a 20% chance? So you see, I've put the 20%, 50% in to see that. What is quite interesting is that everyone that's basically voting on the polls now are voting in the 80% category. And we've got a 50% as well. But it's interesting because the majority of people think or is confident that if you meet your client, you can close the sale. And I'm myself. So where a webinar plays a fantastic role for me is that we run digital marketing, but then I can do webinars to close that bit of a bridge and get people to know me a little bit better. And because it's a controlled response from clients, it's not just everyone talking, it's fantastic. And then all the way through to then people filling in polls and comments at the end, like you guys are currently doing. Thank you for your answers. And that allows me then to go for that awesome coffee with the client. So after having discussed what webinars are about, is what do we do at We Speak? So We Speak is not a webinar system, although we use a webinar platform. We Speak, we set up so that people that aren't generally in webinars have the capability to talk and use webinars. So webinars can be complicated. I don't know if you guys have done webinars or presented webinars before. But it's not a lot of people understand that you usually have a moderator. Some guys go as far as having a whole media team required for them to do it. At the moment, I'm doing a lot of the functionality on the system myself, which is because I know the system, but it allows speakers without technical knowledge or without a big media team to be able to speak. Now, what's interesting is since we've launched it, we've also signed up professional speakers that do have their own media teams. And so We Speak is basically a platform in which we've categorized different talks. So we currently have 12 categories, from business, entrepreneurs, health and fitness, religion, inspirational. There's 12 categories. And people can talk within these categories. And we're trying to our intention for the next year or 2 years will be to build a bit of a Netflix of webinars, because all the webinars are recorded. And this webinar, which is a free one, is recorded, and it will basically be available within the end of the day on our YouTube channel. And we can use this as an ongoing thing. Then our website now interface is based on calendars, which means that we can actually help speakers on a rolling calendar. It's not a fixed calendar, so it moves every day, and it shows what the upcoming events are, all categorized. And we have the ability to then assist the speaker in building a video base. So the video base for us is quite important, because statistics show that most people are starting to prefer offline video recorded, what we call on-demand webinars, purely because they struggle to get to be on time for the live webinar. So you guys are live now, which I appreciate, because I do see that each one of you guys takes the time out of your day to join us on this webinar, which I really appreciate. Then on WeSpeak, we basically focus on 3 types of webinars, or 3 types of events, if I can call it that, because I don't really like the term webinar. But we have the one category is our free events, which is what we refer to as webinars. The reason for that is that webinars traditionally, up until the big uptake with video based, has always sort of played a background role, and webinars are almost expected by audience to be free. Now, all content can't be free, and especially if you've got professional speakers, keynote speakers, trainers, educators, guys with MBAs. I mean, the talks that they do can't be free. So within the free category, we refer to them as webinars, and we've got a whole range of free webinars. We also encourage our speakers to do quite a lot of free webinars in order to inspire and get following. The second category that we go for is what we call paid webinars, which is what we refer to as masterclasses. So we've got free webinars, and then we have paid masterclasses. The paid masterclasses on our platform is actually growing quite well and very fast because of the quality of speakers that we have. So we've signed up professional speakers, professional trainers, subject matter experts, guys that really know their stuff. And what's fantastic about a masterclass, although you have to pay for it, but it's not necessarily expensive. We sort of look at anything from a 50 to 100 Rand mark for a listener, is that a speaker can set up a series of talks, of which the first one typically will be free, and then the speaker can obviously introduce the rest of his talks. But we try very specifically to steer away from hard selling in our webinars, because our webinars need to have content, they need to have substance. And then the last category we've got, which we're very excited about, is our online conferences, which we basically started about a week or 2 weeks ago. This is now, more April 2020. And the online conferences is fantastic because they are a couple of masterclasses that are strung together back to back, and it basically allows us to also do online conferences for anyone. So any of you guys that are currently part of this webinar, think of it like that. If you've got in your industry or in your company and you'd like to set up a conference, it's actually quite easy. Because all we need as we speak is we need you to get a couple of speakers for us, and then we'll set everything up. So you need to get, let's say, 6 speakers for the day, and you can run it as a daily seminar or a daily summit where 6 speakers are involved, and you can sell tickets for that. You can obviously do it for free, but we tend to monetize the conference because of the value and the content in it. But it basically is like that. Now, what's interesting is if you look at, I've set up conferences and managed conferences before in my life, and it's been quite a mission. You know, to arrange the accommodation, the infrastructure, the venue, the catering, you do all that, banners and logos everywhere, and that on top of the stress of speaking, of people coming through, of unique requests, and basically with a online conference, all that's away. You really focus on the talk. People can obviously access it from anywhere, from their work, from their home, and there's no infrastructure involved apart from digital. So we definitely favor that. And then that then brings me to another question that I have for you guys. Do you think a platform such as WeSpeak might play a role for you? And it's not a hard sell. It is a generic question to try and assess where WeSpeak will play going forward on our roadmap for the next year to 2 to 5 years. Do you think it will? Not really sure, or to be honest, you're not. So you guys can be quite open with your answers. I'm glad to see that most of you guys see that we have a place in the market, and that's really great and inspiring to hear. So the last portion that I quickly want to take you through before we end is just what is a webinar typically used for, in which industries does it play a role, as well as these categories mimic what we do as we speak. So it's obviously perfect for business talks like I do now, introducing your business, your product. In most cases, we try and focus on webinar speakers trying to highlight the benefit for clients, not the features that they've got. There's a whole talk behind the difference between benefits and features, but I won't bore you with that. Then there's obviously entrepreneurial stuff. A webinar is a great platform for entrepreneurs to put the word out, to engage with the audience, to build following. Faith and religious events are fantastic. We've got a couple of religious speakers and faith speakers on our platform as well. And what's really inspiring is that these guys can do an actual sermon on Sunday. We've got pastors that present on Sunday already, and they've got tons of people joining their webinars. But then what's interesting is a lot of faith-based speakers we found have got other topics. We've got health and fitness guys that focus on the deeper thinking and the faith and the religious side of faith. So it's an industry that's really powerful. Then we also look at health and fitness, which is quite interesting because we've recently signed up a couple of health and fitness instructors, and it's going to be a bit of a learning curve to figure out how do you do a webinar with physical movement. One of the things that I asked one of the guys is to do a office-based program of stretches, because a lot of you guys, and I assume myself as well, considering that you guys are mostly on PCs, are sitting in front of a computer. So I'm quite fascinated by sitting here and doing stretches and getting myself sorted out. And one of these fitness guys already have a program for people at our office to do stretches, even going to Pilates and yoga. So I'm really excited to see how that works. And then obviously your inspirational talks. So I think it doesn't end there. You'll see I've got an etc. Listed there. So I think there's a lot of stuff, but bringing you to my last question, just based on the 5 main sort of categories that we've got now, is my question, and you'll see the poll is up. My question would be, is from just these 5, not the full 12 sort of industries, which ones do you think will suit you best, or which ones do you think that webinars in general plays the biggest role? I'm quite interested to see what you guys say. So I see there's a couple of business topics coming through, entrepreneurial stuff. I'm going to give it a couple of seconds for you guys to answer everything. Yeah, let's just see. We haven't got everyone answering. So if you guys don't mind giving some feedback, you guys can also obviously chat a little bit. And I'm just waiting. Okay, I'm also looking at the chats while we're busy. There's a question: if you had to replicate this event in a similar format, different content, what would it cost us? Well, basically, from a speaking point of view, it depends if you engage with WeSpeak as a platform, or if you want to do it yourself as a business. Obviously, nothing prevents someone from setting up a webinar infrastructure themselves. I can tell you it's taken quite a bit of work to set WeSpeak up in the format that we've got. However, we offer WeSpeak as a free platform to speakers, and where we focus on is we do profit share based on monetization further up the stream. In other words, if a speaker sells content, or if a speaker basically monetizes his talks, in other words, he presents masterclasses, paid masterclasses, and then a big portion of our revenue then comes from upcoming events and conferences. And the conferences, by the way, if I can do a little bit of a sell, we've got our first online conference happening next week, and we're quite excited to have everyone there. So that sort of brings me to an end. Thank you, guys. I've got quite a lot of answers and feedback from you, which is one of the benefits of a webinar. But the intention, obviously, for this was just to explain what a webinar is all about, how it basically works with Zoom and the other platforms. And I really think you should consider starting to use webinars. And if there's any way that WeSpeak can help you guys to get on track, get it going, get some momentum, get some following, we'll definitely like to talk to you. And you guys can definitely give us a call. At the end of this webinar, if I'm going to end it now, you guys will be pointed to my own landing page, which is on let me just progress here. it'll basically point you to my own page, and I'd really love you guys to leave some comments. If you want me to contact you, Eugene, to contact you, or do you want the business in general to contact you, just leave a message on the contact form. Just so that you know, if you go onto the comment form, just scroll to the bottom to get to the comment section. You will see we do have a chat app on active, but don't leave a comment on the chat app because that's literally a live chat. But at the bottom of the page, just leave a comment there. So to finish off, I see there's quite a couple of questions. I just want to see if they're all relevant. Let's see. Yes, we've got generally on the monetization model, there's a percentage, so we do a profit split. So the base solution that we offer for listeners, obviously it's based on what they listen to or what webinars they attend. From a speaker point of view, we talk to the speakers to find out what they want to sell, and then we go to a profit split. In that, we generally have a 60-40 profit split, 60% for the content owner and 40% for us to pay for all of this. It means it becomes a no-risk model for a business to engage with WeSpeak and get the benefits of a professional media team, support, all that. Okay, here's a very good question from Peter. Thanks a lot. And that is what happens with connectivity. So one of the reasons why we use this specific webinar platform called Demio is because it's incredibly good with streaming. These guys have got a reputation of streaming even on slow connections. But apart from the slow connections, the question is what happens if you lose connection? In other words, you're on a cell phone and you completely lose connection. And it's happened the other way around, is what happens if myself as the speaker or the presenter loses connection? Well, that's quite simple to do. You just click on the join button, the one that you originally clicked on to join. The great thing is, because you're already logged in, if you've got a connection to reestablish, then you just click on it and you go in. And I always tell people that if my signal goes off, if my fiber or whatever I use to talk to you guys, if it goes off, just hang around in the room, because it's basically a webinar room. It's like a seminar. You just stay in the room. We also have situations where people lose connection and they can't get back up. Well, that's not a problem, because the whole session is recorded. The session we're currently going through is recorded from the time I started to the time I end, and this we will basically make available on our website as well as our YouTube channel. So we always tell people, if they contact us, a lot of the times while I present, I'll get WhatsApps from people saying they're struggling to get on or they can't get on. Well, it's great, because don't worry about it. You will definitely get the video afterwards. I've also made the setting on the webinar platform so that all the registrants, even if you're here or not, you will get a notification that the event is available. So I see that sort of brings me to the end of the questions we've got. Thank you, guys. I really want to thank you for your time. I always say that although I give you half an hour of my time, I see all the guys, I put all your half an hours together, and that's the response I've got. So I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys soon. Please visit the WeSpeak website. You'll in any case get there after this, going to my landing page there, and I hope to see you guys online. So thanks a lot for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks a lot. Cheers.